Hello and welcome to another episode of Daily Market Mastery with me, Christian Rauchenwald, on this not so bad Wednesday afternoon. I hope you all had a great start into the new week, or a great new week so far. As always, before we jump into the markets and into my portfolio, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way first. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. Besides that, all the tools that I'm using, so the broker, the charting software, the strategy I'm following, and so on, are all linked in the video description down below. And the one thing I truly recommend, if you haven't done so, is go and check out the Elliott Wave principles, so the strategy I'm following, that you can read online for free when you use the link in the description down below, and you can use the same link also to get yourself a physical copy. With that said, there's also the link. Thank you, Gabby. So you can find the link also in the chat now. Let's jump into the portfolio. So there we go. As we can see, we have a slightly red start into the day. Yeah, not too surprising considering that GameStop lost a little bit in value after the jump that it had 2 days ago, actually already. Yeah. Our portfolio is unchanged, so we have 6 covered calls against our 600 GameStop shares and a few other positions that we believe will, within the foreseeable future, actually bring us some profit. Some of them are currently at a loss, so the entries were too soon, or I was simply wrong. But yeah, I'm still hopeful in all of them. So other than SunPower, because they declared bankruptcy, but that's, yeah, sometimes you get it wrong. And that was a gamble from the beginning. So yeah, with that, we jump into the chart. We can see as that GameStop had the rally up that visually appeared to be a 1-2. Let's actually zoom in on an hourly chart. So that visually appeared to be potentially a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. Now, considering that wave 5 apparently finished here, not expansion, we can see the retracement that we would expect would potentially be down to 25.67 for the 61.8 retracement. We can also check if this were to be the first part of the correction and this were to be the second part of the correction, that would fit the target area here. Now, it's also possible that there's obviously a little bit more downside and so on, but on the hourly chart, it appears to be that basically we should finish a 3-wave corrective move and then go further up from here. On the 8-hour chart that we usually use here, things are unchanged. We're still waiting basically to see if potentially this is already our end of wave 4, and we have actually our start of wave 5. Yeah, I'm gonna have a sip to hydrate because all that streaming and talking makes one thirsty. Yeah, and there are no chickens, so I'm gonna just enjoy my Apfelschorle. Yeah, and then we'll move on to Barnes & Noble Education Inc. Yeah. So yes, exactly. Yeah, not a cocktail, and I'm not at the beach, but better than dying of thirst, I guess. Yeah. Barnes & Noble Education Inc. Yeah. Do we have, I mean, there seems to be a green day, which is always nice, but do we have any update to our pattern once the chart loads? That's always the big if. Also, how the premium's doing. Okay, so yep, that's unchanged. So yeah, we'll have to give it a little bit. So I would like to get a chart because there we actually have a position. But we obviously cannot force it. No, come on. I will have to find the time to look into this, why this is happening sometimes that we don't get updates. According to Interactive Broker, we are connected to all the farms. Yeah, so can reconnect to everything and then switch here somewhere else and switch back. Market data connection. Switch to the alternative chart of 4-hour. So there should actually be no issue for us to fetch the latest price. And it says 1146, and here BNet says 1088. So there has already been some movement. So it seems like now it says 1088 as well. So it seems like we're getting the update. So it changed from green to obviously red now. Might try to restart Motive Wave. So 1 second, let's Yes, restart motive wave and then see if that solves the issue for us. So the icons in the bottom corner show that we're connected. So that's not the issue or not an issue. So could you then please load a chart for me, dear motive wave? If not, we'll just have to move on. We don't hold too much, and as long as we get charts for GameStop, we're actually good. But it would be nice to see if our pattern there finally makes sense. So you can check out yesterday's episode where it still was visible for a current view. So we just move on. We don't care much about Faraday, but if we get a chart, it would be nice to look into it for a change again. It's been on a steady downward decline. There we basically, that was like my first steps with selling cash secured puts, and we got what is it, $50 position, 7 shares, so $100 position, as you can see, at a 70% loss, but it's a very small position. So okay, no chart here. Immersion, there we get a chart. Okay, there we unchanged from yesterday, waiting for this to finish before it goes further up. Ideally, we'll be able to make some extra premium then. We're on a weekly chart here, and if we're able to make some extra premium, we can increase our position to average down and then benefit from the next upward move that we expect following. Costs, yeah, still waiting for further development. Doesn't help that we're on a 3-day chart, so it will take months to develop until we have a clearer picture, because our labeling stops here, and this part here just cannot make sense of. NEO, yeah, again, tending lower. It's so weird. We should already be at the bottom and the end of the correction, but considering that we're now about to break the low at 401, yeah, as long as we stay above 363, I have hope, but it might be that the small position that we hold here eventually will have to be cut if we break the 363, which is super weird because I clearly can see a 5-wave pattern, which means it should be followed by a corrective pattern that doesn't get lower than this, unless I'm missing something, but I feel I don't. So yeah. Notifications. Yeah, not relevant right now. Okay, so moving on. What do we move on? Crypto, we have to relabel. I promise starting next week, we'll want to jump and relabel a little bit more. But as I mentioned, with 2 streams going on in short succession, I'm lacking a little bit of energy, and I don't want to change the streaming schedule midweek. So next week, we're going to have an updated schedule. The trading streams stay the same, but my other stream will move a little bit. And that will then hopefully provide me with the necessary energy to dive into a few more things. Bitcoin on first glance, there would be the option that this is a flat correction and we would get a little bit more downside. But that would mean that this 5th wave hasn't finished yet. So, or actually even the 4th wave. One, two, three, 4, 5. Ah, no, never mind. That was for wave 3. That was for wave 3 or not? Ah, that's for the orange wave 3. Sorry. So this here is set wrong. This needs to be set here. And if this is indeed wave 3, we actually expect to correct further down to 82,000. Yeah. We're going to hold our small Bitcoin position because we don't have a good alternative to throw it into right now. It looks like crypto is red in general today, that we have to relabel. But we expect down and sideways right now because we more or less bounced at the 361.8 extension level. And irrelevant. There we expect more downside temporarily to around here, or no, we actually, yeah, to get a little bit lower than here actually, to break 286.3 before we go further up. And what's Algorand doing? We actually hit our profit area nicely, but visually this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there could be another push, maybe the 61.8 retracement to finish this correction, and then we go further up. And then front line, as said, should have more upside if we, yeah, like probably chart also not loading. Not much fun if we have the technical issues on top of my lack of energy, but let's see if it loads. Or it doesn't. Okay, so yeah, that we have to label, but from the looks of it, it's possible that we finished our correction here and basically should get the next wave up. But again, take it with a grain of salt because we don't have the overlaying pattern labeled SMCI moving further. So I actually had a little bit of a correction here, yeah. But I still believe that we should reach so that this visually already looks like it's going to be A, B, because here we also have a free wave move. And then wave C up here, anywhere between 50 and 75. And then from there, we will then, in my opinion, make our journey further down. Yeah. And sadly, I think that's it for today, to be honest. Yeah. So yeah, it sucks a little bit, but I'm lacking the energy to now live debug the technical issues that we have with the chart feeds. For our biggest position, GameStop, everything seems pretty clear. While there, in theory, could be a little bit more downside, we have a few things that point towards the end of wave 4 being here and the start of wave 5 here. So all we have to do is wait. And for the other things we would want to dive in, either I have to relabel them from the beginning, double check the labeling, or the charts are not loading. So yeah, I think we're gonna call it a day here. So it's gonna be, I know it's a very short stream, but there's also not any activity or any questions from the chat. So I don't feel too bad about calling it quits early for today. I promise, as said, that starting next week, we will implement some changes in my daily schedule to try to increase the value that I provide in these streams here as well. Until then, so for the last couple of days this week, basically tomorrow and Friday, I'll just do what I can and deal with the issues at hand. So Gabby, thanks for helping, even though there was not any activity in the chat, but still always great to have you here. Everyone else that lurked in between, thanks for stopping by. And then with that, have a great rest of the day. See you all then tomorrow with another episode of Daily Market Mastery. Till then, bye-bye.